Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's Transfer Talk. As you can see, and as you can tell, there isn't much to talk about when it comes to incomings for Leeds United, although we do have some outgoings and some rumored outgoings, which I'll speak about in this video. But boy, oh boy, it's been a quiet month. We are now at the halfway point of January, and Leeds United, there is not a signing to be seen. But my question to you is, do we need one? And we'll get into the video, and I want you to get your thoughts in the comments below. Big up and thank you for all the support from my members of the channel. Really appreciate it. And big up to SB, who's recently joined. Thank you for that. And listen, like, subscribe, drop your comments below. You know the whole jazz. Going to be speaking about an outgoing now in Joe Gilhart. He has formally left, which we knew, and we covered this a couple of days ago. And just his words upon exit, I think, is pretty telling. He spoke to obviously the whole City media team and everything else like that. Obviously, footballers go through, footballer signs for new club bingo. But I think it was pretty evident from the words that he said here. And just to summarize what he said here, this is from the Whole City website. It's a happy moment for me. I've spoken to the manager about the plans and direction the club is going in, and I can't wait to get started and get playing. Well, I mean, Whole City are down the bottom, so you're not really happy to go there, but you're happy for the starts. Okay, you're happy for the playing time. Let's be real. He sees me more, and here's the interesting thing here. He sees me more as more playing off the nine, maybe off the right or just behind. My best position's a striker or just behind the striker, trying to help assist and score goals for the team and trying to win games. Every footballer wants to trade hard all week and get rewarded with playing on the weekend. That hasn't happened for me in the last few years, so I'm excited to get playing again and get that match feeling back. And it's interesting, isn't it? I go more to, I mean, obviously he's excited to play. I go more to where he sees himself, and that is just behind the striker or as a striker. And obviously he has just not been getting a look in at this football club for the last few years. And even when we did need him last year after Jorginho's hernia surgery, he was nowhere to be seen. Even this season, maybe Brendan could have had a break here and there. No, he's played every game. Gilhart's had 2 sub appearances. So listen, hopefully it works out for Joe Gelhardt. It's a straight loan. There's no obligation to buy, not that I've seen anyway. So it is that he's going to go out to get development and come back, and hopefully we can rearrange a summer move for him permanently. Just a follow-up note on the Patrick Bamford stuff, and this is nothing major, but John Eustace did confirm interest in Patrick Bamford. Obviously, having interest and actually formalizing a bid is 2 different things. But John Eustace, I even forgot this, he used to play with Bamford when he was at Derby. So there is history there, and that also goes with what I've said before, where somebody will think, you know what, I remember Pat. He was a good lad. He's a good striker. Maybe he just needs a fresh set of circumstances. And that is how moves can happen. When people keep saying to me, no one wants to take Bamford on, there's always a taker for somebody. And until it happens, I guess people won't seek to believe it. But when it does happen, I want you to come back and say, KG, you were right. Doesn't happen, but you know what? Come back and say it anyway. But John Eustace, and it's also one of those things as well, where we know Bamford's on a high wage, but maybe in the fact that he's got a relationship with John Eustace, maybe there's a little bit of scope there where a financial package can be worked out between the 2 clubs and Patrick Bamford for him to go and play at Blackburn Rovers. People saying about him being injured. I've recently seen 2 deals, and I wish I'd flashed them up. One got cancelled because he's out injured right now, and they need him straight away. Another deal has gone through, but he's currently injured. A player's currently injured, but because they're good with him, coming back after what I think it's a week or so, they've signed him. So there's 2 different occurrences there of one not taking someone who's currently injured and another one that has. So like I've said, unless there's underlying damage where it doesn't look like they're ever going to play in the next 6 months, some teams do take it on, and it has happened before. So maybe keep an eye out for this one, and hopefully something gets worked out. Hopefully, please. Another one that's come up in the news over the last few days is Willy Gnonto and Saudi interest. And I know a lot of you have said, have asked me, shall we sell? Do we sell? For me, let's just go into it anyway. Saudi interest in Willy Gnonto. There's fees being banded around between 15, 20, and even up to 25 million. My stance on this is pretty clear. I would not sell Willy Gnonto in this window unless he has the indication that he wants to go. And that could be purely because of lack of playing time that he feels he should be getting, or that he sees himself, listen, if it's Saudi, he's looking at, generational wealth. Let's be real. So unless he's making noises to go, I wouldn't sell. I would keep him in the squad because, listen, has he been as as expected for me? No, he hasn't, but he's been good. And there's always a scope in the next, as we come up to the running of the championship, where he can just light on fire and he can go on a run where he's just influencing games. Even in that game a couple of weeks ago where it was the role players that were coming in over the starters, he was the best one out of all of them by a mile as well. And that's what he can give you. And with his adaptability as well, I think it's important that he stays, because unless we're going out and getting a right winger, he needs to stay, because we know he can play effectively off the right, as we've seen when he plays in games. He starts on the left, goes central, goes right. He goes all over the place. Me personally, I'm keeping Willy Gnonto in the squad. And again, it's a really weird one, and I know a lot of people can't see it, but it's one of these things where Willy Gnonto for me is so much more suited to the Premier League style of play than the Championship, and I think his motivation goes up as well when he's in the Premier League. We saw that in his first stint. I don't think that goes away. I think that when we go back up to the Premier League, I think he can be a good asset there, unless there is noise for him to move there, as leave us in the summer. The good thing is on our part, though, is that when he did sign his new contract at the end of August, there is no release clauses. So if we are to sell, it's going to be at Leeds United and the 49ers price that they deem fit for him to be sold. So no one's got to worry about anything in terms of a release clause from anywhere else. It's Leeds United that are in control in the main. So that will be something. Hopefully nothing else comes of it, but if it does, we'll bring you an update, of course. Well, I will bring you an update, of course. Someone who will not be moving here, and I've got to say, people, I'm glad this is happening, because I'm not getting I'm getting sick of seeing his name being brought up all the time, like he's the only striker available. But that's what happens, man. When we get linked to a player, fans just can't see past that player, and we'll just keep on saying, no, we need him, even though he's not the be all and end all. Well, Atlanta in America are moving for Emmanuel Latte-Lath. It looks like they're going to complete a move for him for around £18 million, which is a hell of a lot of money. And the only thing I would say on this is that it's one of these things where some of you were telling me or have the belief he could play in the Premier League, and maybe he could. I guess we won't find out in the immediate future. But all I'll say is that the fact that it's Atlanta United out in MLS that are next up for him kind of tells me a lot as well, that there's not teams in the Premier League that are looking for him to be the answer. They obviously don't see him suitable, and there's not teams around Europe that are looking at Emmanuel Latte-Lath. For maybe 18 million puts off a lot of people. I know it certainly put me off when I saw that we were linked with him for 15. I said, absolutely not. But Atlanta United being his next step, people. Hey, listen, it could be a lifestyle thing. He may want to go out to America, visit ATL, live out there, enjoy, the whole scene down there. But yeah, look, I'll be happy when this one's completed, so people can get him out their heads and we can move on. All right, we don't have to see Latte-Lath's name again. But my question is, and just to end the video, is do we actually need any additional signings? And the reason why I asked this, and I'm not saying that we don't need one, but I want to make my stance clear. I don't feel we need to be very, very busy in this window. I just feel that we need that one or two just to strengthen the squad up, because we've seen what other people are doing. We've seen what other teams around us are being linked with. And I get that. But if let's just say we have this squad that we have right now. Let's forget that top goalkeeper there, please. No, I joke, but we got Carl Darlow in there, who for me is an average goalkeeper who could easily take the place of a below average goalkeeper in Melier. We've got centre back option Strout, Roden, Verber. Would I like another centre back there? Absolutely would love one. But we know Danny Farker sees Gilhart as an option there, and Ethan Ampadu. And with all the central midfield options that we have, Ampadu, Gruev, Giavogi, Tanaka, Rothwell. Do we need another midfielder? No, we don't. Fullback, when they're all fit, we have an abundance of them. That's just the thing, though, when they're all fit. But if we're being real, we have already enough fullbacks here at the football club to get past this championship half of the season. We do. Although I would love another one. It's not going to happen, is it? But then you go to this part, and I guess it's where the 10 is. That's where you'd like one. But we know that I don't know what the deal is there, if we're even going to get one. We haven't been linked with anyone of note, people. There's not one credible link out there. I'm telling you, there's none out there in terms of us getting a 10. But we know that Solomon can play there if needed. We know Ramazani can drift in there if we want. And we've seen Gnonto at the start of the year play there. And it also then goes to the strikers. Let's just say Bamford is to leave. We know Gelhardt's gone. We've got Peru and Joseph. We heard Where is it now? Where is it? Let me get that. Very nice and smooth. When Daniel Farker said that Willy Gnonto can play up there, and I can very much see a scenario at this football team where if Bamford was to leave for Blackburn, he would say Willy Gnonto's our striking option, another striking option as Ramazani and Solomon are our left-sided options. I can see a scenario of that happening, but that does leave us light for me. And by the way, if you've got out Gilhart and Bamford, hey, there's more than enough money for you to get in another forward, which I think the club would do. I think they would have to do that. But I'm saying at this moment in time, are you panicking? That's the question I've got for you. Are you panicking that we haven't made a signing yet? I'm not panicked because I do believe in the strength of the squad. I do. I believe that this squad in this division, which I need you to put into context, is this division here. I still feel that we've got the march on our rival teams. They're getting players to try and catch us up, but it doesn't mean, as Danny Farkas say, that we should stay asleep. But are you panicked of the lack of signings? And at this point now, on the 15th of January, which is the position that you'd like to see? Let's say Bamford goes, that leaves a forward spot open. Is it the forward that you think that we need to get? And that's my question to you people. And that is it for the video. Listen, there's no news out there. I'm just being honest. There's no news out there, so I can't put stuff on that doesn't exist, and I'm not going to make it up either. So listen, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your thoughts and comments below on anything discussed, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.